Welcome to another episode of Sitar Gurukul. I hope all of you are doing well. I hope that these new lessons, which are a little more challenging than what we are used to here at Sitar Gurukul, are proving of great fun to you. And I really hope that most of you are playing really well by now. I always wait for comments and videos sent to my email, which I'll be providing in the description from now on to get your updates. I often get updates and videos from all over the world, and that fills me with joy, gives me more inspiration to make new videos. In the last episode, we were still discussing the last four, or probably, oh, yes, I remember, the four beats, how to individually see these four beats, and how to play something. Now, we are going to talk about how you can create your own dance and the calculation behind it, behind the specific polyrhythm. Firstly, let's understand what a polyrhythm is. A polyrhythm is not exactly the same as loikari or laikari in Hindi, in Indian classical music as we call it. It's because a polyrhythm often suggests a specific kind of fusion of beats. In laikari, we pretty much call any kind of let's put it like this: all polyrhythms are laikaris, but not all laikaris are polyrhythms. So polyrhythms, I can't remember at this very moment. Polyrhythm refers to a specific kind of fusion between beats, but in Indian classical laikari, it pretty much refers to any kind of fusion. Now, what is fusion between beats, you might ask? And let's understand it like this. So you have two circles and you have a dot in both these circles which are rotating, and they have their own pace, a very constant pace. So over here you have this on your left cycle, you have a dot that takes exactly 16 seconds, or it has like 16 notches before it comes back to 1. So it has its own rotation speed. And then you have a circle that has 12 notches, and it matches the speed of this. So even though it has 12 notches, it's going to hit differently in all of those knots, but the one of 16 and the one of 12 is going to be the same. So it's a bit of compensation. This is trying to follow that, but its own way. So we're going to talk about more on that later, and it's not really as difficult as you might think from whatever it sounds like, and it becomes really easy once you start to get understanding, once you really start to understanding what's going on in laikaris. So today we're going to talk about a little bit of counting, a little bit of mathematics. It's also going to be very easy. For those of you who remember our classes that we played those first 10 tanzis, it should be probably from episode number 30, I believe. If you haven't, then I suggest you go back at those episodes where we learned 10 different tans, 10 types of tans that we were all supposed to play in Madhyalaya Teental composition that we were playing back then. So if you remember that we had 8-beat tans, we had 16-beat tans, and I believe we also had a 32-beat tan, which was really long. So if you have the beat count game strong, this video is for you. If not, I suggest that you go back to our previous lessons where we briefly, we quite descriptively explained how beat and counting and playing all of that works. So returning to the pattern that we were playing, which was, so the speed was 40 BPM and we were targeting every beat. So we started out with 2, 3, 4, and then we eventually, on the last episode, till the last episode, we looked into each of those beats individually and played some kind of material in each of them. And just a quick recap: 2, 3. So this little tail that I played, so every chida chida da will represent 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. But on every beat we can play 4 more or even 8 more depending on the speed we're playing. So if you listen carefully, can you count how many strokes you have over here? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 1. But there are actually 8 beats over there. We're actually playing 8 notes. One of them is silent. We're using that time to latch on back to that sequence. So right now I want you to make tons of your own, and it doesn't always have to make complete sense in Yaman. It can also be complete gibberish, or maybe not. Something that sounds like Yaman. You know the rules of Yaman, the format of Yaman. So I'll provide some examples. Right now we are going to keep this sequence or this pattern aside and just make tons. So you take my word that there are 8 possibilities. So you have the possibility at this speed to play 8 strokes or 8 notes. So theoretically, every 8 is going to stand for one of those is going to stand for every 8. So if you want to take 4, and what do I mean by 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you were to play 8 notes or 8 beats in all of those separate 4 beats, so if you count those, you get 8 into 4, 32. You get to play 32 notes. Now that sounds a lot, but you can also break them down. You can break it down and play 4 8-beat tons instead. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you have to make tons that go along Yaman, as in ni re ga ma da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. Following this rule, this blueprint, you have to make 4 tons that has 8 beats each. So let's try it together. Let's play 6, 7, 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you can also use silence musically. So let's group these stanzas in versions of 16. So da ni re ga re 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a small pause. So let's combine them together. Da ni re ga ni, da ni re ga ni sa, da ni re ga re sa ni sa, da ni re ga ni re ga. And then for the second half, we will allow a small space in between just to divide them into 2. So, and then you have 1 or half a beat of space, 1 beat in this case. Let's make the other half. So since we already have something in the low end, let's make something on the high end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then one more beat. So that beat is going to represent the 8th stroke. So you have 16 and 16, which makes 32. So and then you have one more ton. So how you can use this we will only discuss when you can play something like this at this speed with ease, and that should not be a problem if you are already doing the things that we are showing you in 40 BPM. How you can use this and create a new layer on top of the things that we have already built in the Like Harim or the new format that we are playing. You have one more thing that you have introduced, without playing the sequence all over again. Now you're sounding busy, which kind of is stating that you're building more mass onto your current sequence or the laikari or the rhythm that you're playing, and eventually you're going to complete an entire cycle and make it sound busier and bigger, and then end it with a fabulous sehai, which is going to mark the end for that material. So that's it for today. In today's class, I have showed you how to count, and I have given you a homework, if you may, on how to make your own tans. So we can return on the next episode and find out how to use them. Till then, take care and bye bye.